Meanwhile, the men's sprinters over on the far side of the stadium. John Regis, nice and cool. We were talking about his physique earlier, and it's lovely to see a training session and with his coach John Isaacs when he's got the others there. Mickey McFarlane, who's about half John Regis' side, he's the bully of the event, really. He does all the talking, and to see him tell John Regis what to do in a training session is quite fun down at the track. I'm sure Seb will agree. He's seen it so many times. He shares the same track when the sprint group are out.
Well, the most positive piece of advice I was given before Stuttgart came from Mickey McFarlane, who supervised my last sprint session and gave me some real stick over my 200-metre form. It proved solid advice.
I bet Mickey McFarlane's had something to say to John Regis today as well. And as a matter of fact, I've got to say, if I were picking the relay teams, I wouldn't be far wrong in having him in both. John Regis can run a great 400 and he can run a great 100. He really is a supreme talent, and he's only 20. 20 going on 35. That's what he looks like anyway. And he's got on his inside Mahorn, but he's got all the big men outside him, and right next to him, there's Calvin Smith, incidentally. He's got Floyd Heard, who now really has become probably the favourite with Calvin Smith. De Silva's up there, but oh, there's a medal there for the asking. It'll mean absolute concentration. There's Calvin Smith. We've talked about him so many times. The defending champion and former world record holder at 100 metres. Olympic gold at 4x100. He's been a pivot in that team for quite a long while. And I was saying earlier this morning, American sprinters don't stay around that long, but Calvin Smith has for the last 8 or 9 years.
John Regis drawn in lane number 2, and Ron made the point earlier that the bends are pretty tight here. Now, John's a big boy. He's got, he's powerful, he's very strong. He's got some of the principles outside him, which helps. But what about the tightness of that bend?
Well, yes, he's one of the things he's got to work on, and John Isaacs is well aware of that, is keeping his mobility going, and that helps you negotiate those bends. It would have suited Calvin Smith a little more, but nonetheless, I think he's going to take it okay. There's Atlee Mahorn, who ran so well in those Commonwealth Games. There's a chance to see, look at him. Muscles on his ears, John Regis. Outside John Regis, Floyd Heard, only 21, but a man to be reckoned with today, and so is Robson de Silva at 22. The European champion Krylov is in lane 5. Surprised then, but he's going well. Gilles Quénéhervé of France, only 21, is in 6. Pierfrancesco Pavoni of Italy, the Italian 100 and 200 metre champion, and then Calvin Smith. Not a good draw for Calvin Smith, but what a lead he's going to set the rest, because he starts so well and he's a superb bend runner. Pavoni, I don't think I've ever seen him without a strapping. But he'll be cheered all the way. That's the reception for John Regis. The flags are out, the Union Jacks are going. That big handshake is going on the far side. Remember that, it's a British supporter. Gravesend, they've been here all the time. Happy birthday, Derek. There's the big hand, you saw it. So John Regis, he's going to wallow in this atmosphere. He's going to learn a lot, whatever happens. Part of his maturing process, 20.25, that would do today. It's going to be a sprinter that's around for a long while to come. No Linford Christie here, no Alan Wells. It's a pity, but John Regis has made the break. Krylov, Queneherve, Pavoni. That must help. Calvin Smith, difficult to estimate, but I think the British contingent here is second only to the Italian in size. I really do. Fluttering breeze down the length of the home straight, so we can expect a fast time. We got it in the women's 200 metres. And there's confirmation of that lineup again. Atlee Mahorn of Canada, John Regis of Great Britain, Floyd Heard of the United States, Robson de Silva, Brazil, Vladimir Krylov, Soviet Union, Gilles Quénéhervé of France, Pierfrancesco Pavoni of Italy, Calvin Smith, United States, the defending champion. Championship record of 20.14. Is that vulnerable in these conditions? It's certainly a superb world-class field. No problems with the start. The Silva's gone off well. John Regis has closed down on Floyd Heard. John Regis is running a superb bend. John Regis is coming off the bend, and Krylov in the red shirt. Regis and De Silva. Regis is there and left Floyd Heard. Heard is coming back. John Regis hanging on. It's going to be very close, and John Regis is going to get there. John Regis gets there. That is remarkable, and the Frenchman Queneherve, I'm going very excited, but Queneherve came through so fast. I'll leave a question mark. It's 20.17, so the championship best. If it's John Regis, it could be a new British record. He's looking around, and they closed down on him. It was a magnificent run. Gold or silver, it was a magnificent run. But Queneherve came onto him in the last 2 meters, and I'd focused on John Regis, and we're going to wait because they don't know. John Regis, his hand is up. It wasn't Calvin Smith's race, that's for sure. And the Europeans have beaten the Americans, and they're all waiting to see the replay. All eyes are up on the board, and this could be a new United Kingdom national record. Now, well, that is so close. Calvin is in the frame with Queneherve and John Regis, and it looks as though Queneherve may well have taken it from John Regis. Now, it's still going to be decided by photograph. They're still getting excited down there. They're waving flags, but every nationality is convinced that they've won. But it is a photograph. They're saying Queneherve is on his knees. Calvin Smith is on his knees. John Regis is now shaking his head, but what a magnificent run. And Queneherve thinks that he's taken the gold in what has been the tightest race of these championships since the 400 meters hurdles. And Gilles Quénéherve, who won the European Club Championships from Calvin Smith, from John Regis, those three will share the medals, but only the photograph and the clock will make final confirmation.
Actually, the drama hasn't finished. Queneherve thinks he's won it. Calvin Smith thinks he's won it. Calvin Smith drawn right on the outside. Pavoni got a great start there, no question about that, but faded in the race. But when you watch the closing stages, watch Calvin Smith coming up on the near side. He definitely believes he's won it. He's celebrating down there already. Queneherve thinks he's won it.
And there's no doubt that in the early part of the race, John Regis destroyed Floyd Heard's chances of this race. He runs a magnificent bend. He also does De Silva of Brazil, another of the close favourites. Krylov is fighting Queneherve. It's Queneherve in the blue and white, and Calvin Smith that have the terrific finish. John Regis had a magnificent 3/4 of the race, and look at him, chest forward. If he could just duck like John Regis, then he may have made it. But Calvin Smith is the fast finisher on this side, and that makes Calvin Smith, his blistering finish, look so good. But who is going to decide? Calvin Smith and Queneherve, well, neither of them know who's got it, but John Regis thinks that the gold may not be his, but he's still got a medal in his hand.
I'll tell you what, that was so close that all the first three thought at some stage they'd won it.
I've rarely seen that. I really haven't. We had it in the 400 meters hurdles, and the time of 20.17, whoever gets it is going to be delighted. What a superb run from the 20-year-old. Whatever medal he gets, it has been magnificent. His concentration never deserted him. What he's done to world-class American, Brazilian, Canadian sprinters here is no man's business. And they were into a breeze against of 0.49 all the way down that long straight. So that's an incredible time. And there it is. It isn't John. It's either Calvin Smith or Queneherve. I think the bronze is for John Regis. But for 90% of the race, it was the gold he was hanging on to.